welcome to Malice Fairy. Today we're doing a tier list. Roll the intro. So, with Age of Imprisonment around the corner, I was contemplating all the characters that we've been introduced to in this Wild era. So basically the key characters of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and Age of Calamity. And we're gonna rank them. And there's 50 of the key characters. Now you might be asking, what defines a key character? And the answer to that is the lists I found on Google. That's what defines it. Now, is there a chance that these lists are missing a character or two? There's a chance. I don't think so, because there's also characters here that I wouldn't personally consider key characters, but they're here. So I think we're very well encompassed when it comes to the list. 50 is a lot. But yeah, if there's a character missing, just let me know in the comments and I'll tell you where the character would go on the list. Let's get to the tier, shall we? Peak. Self-explanatory. Best of the best, basically. Great is a character I love, but isn't peak. You know, characters that could almost be on the peak tier, but you're like, they're not as good as those, if that makes sense. Potentially above mid and mid. Well, mid is, again, self-explanatory. It's like a mediocre, run-of-the-mill character. Not very impressive, badly or greatly. Potentially above mid is, well, if I had more information about this character and if I learned more about this character, they could be above mid, potentially. Trash but well written, basically a character that annoys me or I just find, well, trash, but I can acknowledge that it's a well-written character that's supposed to evoke those emotions. And just trash is just a poorly designed / written character, in my humble opinion. So let's get to it, shall we? Okay, Link. Peak. Duh. I love Link in this era. I think people have like a complaint that he's not as expressive. He doesn't emote as much as, let's say, a Wind Waker Link or a Skyward Sword Link. And that is true, but that's obviously on purpose so that you can kind of see yourself in the character and impose your own thoughts and emotions on the character. And the emotions that he does have are very subtle, and I just love noticing those things. Plus, I think canonically, correct me if I'm wrong, this is probably the strongest Link that there is, right? Anyway, I love him. He's perfect. Zelda is peak. My favorite version of a Zelda ever. I love her journey. I love the character development. I love everything there is to love about her. And if you don't love the Zelda, then there's something wrong with you. I hate to be the one to tell you, but there is. There truly is. Okay, the Rook. I feel bad, but I'm gonna put the Rook on mid. I love him. I love all the champions and all the sages. But in comparison to the other ones, he is a little more one-dimensional. And that's okay. But I do love him. But I'm going to have to say mid. Because I feel like we know enough about him to know that this is as far as he goes in terms of layers and story. I don't think there's anything we could learn about the Rook now that would make him a very different character. Mipha is great. Is she peak? No, she's great. And that's only because there are champions I love more than her. So it wouldn't feel fair. But I love Mipha so much. I think she's amazing. She's a very interestingly written character in the sense that you could look at certain things and certain aspects of her story and be like, that's kind of weird. You know, how she meets Link when he's a child and stuff like that could go wrong so quickly, but the way she's written is just really good, and you can see that she has like the most pure, amazing soul, and everything she does, like she means so well. There's not like a malicious bone in her body, and I love her. She's my second favorite champion depending on the day, because sometimes it's Rivali. Speaking of which, Rivali, great. I think it's almost tempting to put him on trash but well written, but I just think he's great. I think he serves his purpose very well as the like antagonist in the group. I think his role is super necessary, and I also think, especially with the DLC, the Breath of the Wild DLC, you see such a different side of him in the sense that, like, he's the only champion that has to work for his powers. He actually has to train himself to be able to do the Rivali's Gale thing, as opposed to all the other ones that just have a gift. So it just shows, like, how frustrating it must be for him to see Link be, like, the hero when he's the one trying his hardest. Also, Age of Calamity, the amount of amazing Rivali content you get, like him with Tulin and Teba, like, it's just so good. He's just so good. I love him. Urbosa. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm sorry. Peak best champion / sage / like, I love her. She's everything. She is everything. I always get a little suspicious when someone doesn't like Urbosa. Although, to be fair, I don't think I've ever met anyone that was like, I don't like Urbosa. So I think we're fine. I love her, like, little banter that she has with Link in one of the memories. I love what we got in Age of Calamity as well. I just love her. She's perfect. I don't think there will ever be a Sage type figure in any Zelda game that I will like as much as I like Urbosa. I really feel strongly about that. King Roam. King Roam is trash, but he's well written. He's trash because he's a horrible father. And in Age of Calamity, you can kind of see a bit of a redemption when it comes to that. But they are separate timelines, so it's hard to kind of forgive him in Breath of the Wild for something that happens in Age of Calamity, if that makes sense. And honestly, even in Age of Calamity, he only really realizes that he's wrong when the device saves him. The device that Zelda found saves him. So if that hadn't happened, well, he'd be dead. But still, like, if, let's say, that hadn't happened and he survived that attack, that Guardian attack, he probably still would have remained very much the trash that he had been up to that point. But, like I said, well written, because this is all very purposeful. He is supposed to be that figure of duty over anything, even his own daughter. So they did the character well, it's just that he is an absolute piece of trash. Impa. Impa is great. Now, I have a picture of her in Breath of the Wild here, but I am also considering the Age of Calamity younger version, which I love. I love using her. She's probably my number 2 when it comes to characters I like to fight with. Well, like to use to fight me playing. And I love everything she is. I love her relationship with Zelda a lot. I think she's so wise and just strong. And yeah, I want to be like her when I grow up. Yunobo. Ugh. I feel so bad. Like, I actually feel so bad. Trash, but well written. He's supposed to be annoying. He's supposed to be a coward. He's supposed to be all these things so that he has, you know, the growth and so he can become what he becomes in Tears of the Kingdom. But there's just so much annoyance in that journey that, yeah. Like, I like him. I do. I think he's precious. But I don't think Tears of the Kingdom did him any favors. Like, yes, he got braver, but that whole storyline with the mask, it's like, let's add more annoyance to this already annoying character. But I do like him. I do want to make it clear that I do like him, even though I think he's a little bit of trash in terms of, in comparison. Maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know. Let's just leave him there for now. Sidon is great. I love Sidon. I love his friendship with Link. I love his relationship with Mipha. I think that's what makes him so special. I love his moments when he's little in the Breath of the Wild DLC and in Age of Calamity. He's like the cutest little fish thing. And I love his energy. I love his vibe. I love his positivity. Just great. Great character. Teba. Teba to me is peak. I have like an unhealthy love for Teba. I really do. Like, I think he should have been the sage in Tears of the Kingdom. I have a whole video about it. I just love him. I love his personality. I love his character design. Like, they made him look so good, and he's a bird. So I'm just saying. I love him and his little family. I love him. Like, he's right there with Link, Zelda, and Urbosa. So you can tell from that how much I actually love him. Next is Riju. Riju is peak. Yeah, I love Riju. I do have like a weakness towards the Gerudo ladies. Like, I think they're amazing. Riju is so good, especially now that I'm actually listening to the Tears of the Kingdom voice memories. There's so much more about her that's like coming out that I love, like the whole haircut thing and all the projects she has for Gerudo Town and improving like the quality of life in the desert and stuff. She's not only strong physically and within her power, but she's such a good leader, and she's very young, so it's super impressive. Bluto. Bluto is potentially above mid, I have to say. I really relate to him because his back always hurts, and I just love his vibe, but we know so little about him, so little about him, that I think if there was a game or anything, any type of material that came out that told us more about his story, I feel like he could be potentially above. I feel like there's some interesting stuff in his life that would be kind of awesome to find out. Okay, King Dorfan. Dorfan? How do you say his name? Dorfan. Mifa's dad. I think I'm gonna put him on mid, because I feel like, unlike Bluto, we actually know a lot about him. Age of Calamity really gave us a lot of moments with him, and he's good. He's a good character. I don't think there's much more to him, but I do like him a lot. I think he's good. I am slightly freaked out by how huge he is, I have to say, but I do have an issue with like big ocean creatures. So yeah, let's move on. Cannoli, Owlbird, Cannelli. These names, I swear. I think I'm gonna go with potentially above mid for the same reasons as Bluto. We just don't know a lot about him, and I feel like there could be a lot of interesting things there. Now, granted, it could be that we find out more about him and he's just really, really boring, but as of right now, I can't say either way because he's just kind of mysterious. So potentially above mid, I think I'm okay with that. Master Koga is great. He is great. Playing Age of Calamity added so much to my love for Master Koga. The fact that the circumstances being different made him one of the good guys. It means that, it's in there. And when he rescues Soga, that relationship is amazing. And I just really love him. And I've been listening to his voice memories in Tears of the Kingdom, and it's making me love him even more because he is hilarious and just kind of clueless and smart at the same time. Really fascinating character. Really fascinating. Very cool to use in Age of Calamity as well as a fighter. Deku Tree. Mid? There's absolutely nothing wrong with the Deku Tree in the Wild era. Like, I like the character. But, it doesn't stand out to me. He doesn't stand out to me. I suppose he's a he. It's just not a character that sticks out that much. And I don't think it's lack of information. I think it's just his vibe, and that's okay. That's okay. I do love him, though. The fairies. The great fairies. I have very little interest in them as characters. Like, they're fine, but they're all kind of the same to me. In Age of Calamity, I don't love fighting with them. Like, I think they're a little clunky as well. But they're okay. I think I'm gonna put them all on mid. Except for the Horse God, which is gonna go above mid, potentially above mid, because I guarantee you that if we got more lore about the Horse God, it would be wild. I'm actually really looking forward to going there in Tears of the Kingdom to see if there's a voice memory that gives us any information. But yeah, that character is a vibe. There must be so much lore and just, yeah, kind of a crazy character that's super mysterious. Beto's great. I mean, does it feel a little weird to put him here with Mifa and Rivali? Yeah, but he's not mid. Beto is not mid. He's a good one. Next one is Bosun. I think I'm gonna have to put him on mid. I actually love his cutscenes and stuff. I think he's hilarious, but he is kind of one-dimensional, so that's the only reason. But I do like him a lot. And I hold the right to change my mind about like all of this, by the way. Like next week I can feel differently. Next one is botw. I think potentially above mid. I love how protective she is over Riju. I love their vibes. Like I think they have a really cool relationship, but we don't know much about her. So that's why I think potentially above mid. She's not someone that stands out too much, but if we learn more about her, I think she could stand out. Hestu. Where am I gonna put Hestu? I think I'm gonna put him on potentially above mid. There's a lot of Hestu in Age of Calamity. The way he fights, and just I think there's more to him than what we see, and I think potentially he could have a really interesting story if explored. Cass is great. I love Cass. Cass, I miss you. Where are you? Everyone's worried. Kilton. You know what I just realized? His brother isn't on this list. His brother from Tears of the Kingdom. Would he be considered a key character? Possibly. So let's just pretend that they're here together, because I would also put him on the same category, which is potentially above mid. Because I feel like he is also very layered, and there could be a whole game just about Kilton, I feel. And like how he got where he is, and where the interest about monsters came from, and all of that. I feel like there could be a whole story about him for sure. Muzu is trash but well written. I actually relate to Muzu so much because he's grumpy, he holds grudges, and he doesn't like company. So I actually really like him. But yeah, he is just a piece of something, isn't he? Just doubting you from start to finish. But he has a good reason. He's protective over Mipha's memory and everything that happened. But yeah, trash. He's so annoying, but very well written and necessary to the story, I feel. Paya is next. We like Paya. She's kind of mid though, isn't she? Like, she's a very simple character. I like her. Like, mid doesn't mean I don't like the character, because I like all of these. But there's not that much to her, I don't think. Like, we see a little bit more in Tears of the Kingdom with the research and stuff. But yeah, she's just kind of there, isn't she? I think it's wild though, now that I'm looking, just like seeing Bluto and Cannoli, whatever his name is, above Paya. That feels wrong, but we're gonna stick with it. We're gonna stick with it for now. Next one is Pikango, and I don't even know why he's here. He's on the list that I found. I don't really consider him a key character, but he is the guy in Kakariko Village that's like painting and stuff. I don't even remember what he says to you. Like, I'm sure he teaches you something. I don't even know. Like, I'm just gonna put him on trash because I don't remember him that much. I don't actually think he's trash, mind you. Just the fact that nothing comes to mind when I think of him, like, makes me think that maybe he's just not super memorable. So we're gonna put him there for now. Yeah. Pura is great. I love her. I'm very, very thankful that she's grown in Tears of the Kingdom, because that whole situation in Breath of the Wild was kind of disturbing. It was kind of disturbing. So we're happy that she's grown. I really like her in Age of Calamity as well. She's very, very cool, and she has like the best cutscenes. Robbie, on the other hand, I find to be mid. Like, I feel like he really lacks in comparison to Pura. Like, he's funny and all, but I think he's more one-dimensional than she is. Like, I think she's been more developed as a character than Robbie, but I do love him. This guy here, it's the same situation as this guy here. His name is Simon, and he's the director at the lab, and I don't know why he is considered a key character based on the list I found. I don't even remember. Like, you talk to him and he goes like, go take a picture of something, and that's it. And I think you buy the compendium from him. Like, I must be missing something, but I'm just gonna put him on trash because it's just, why? He's just a guy, isn't he? He's kind of just a guy, which is fine. But he's not gonna be on the same level of well-written as, like, a King Rome. So, yeah. Hudson is next. Hudson is... Oh, where am I gonna put Hudson? I think he's mid. Just in the sense that I think we know everything there is to know about him, and he's lovely, and I like him a lot, but it only goes so far, you know? Ganondorf. Ganondorf is peak. I love this version of Ganondorf so much. Like, I feel like he's a very good mixture of past Ganondorfs. And I feel like a lot of people complained that his whole motive was like, just like destruction and taking over. And it's like, villains are allowed to just be evil. Like, that's okay. Not every villain needs to have a noble reason to do the things they do. Like for example, Wind Waker Ganondorf. You kind of almost get his point when he's explaining to you why he does what he does. With Ganondorf from the Wild era, there's no point other than he wants to rule, and I feel like that's valid as a villain to have that kind of vibe. Plus, he's just so good looking. Next one is Josha. I don't like her. I think she's trash. I'm sorry. I think she's annoying. I don't like her. I don't think she adds anything to the game. I'm almost indifferent about her, which is even worse than disliking a character. Minoru is great. I'm so looking forward to finding out more about her in Age of Imprisonment. She is great. I love her. She's so like poised and classy and wise, and I just love her vibe. She's such a vibe. Rauru is also great. It's tempting to put him on the peak tier list. Maybe if I redo this after playing Age of Imprisonment, he might move up. I mean, a lot of the characters might move up, to be honest. But I love him so much. And he is the protagonist of one of the coolest moments in Zelda history, in my opinion, which is when he seals Ganondorf and says, like, that Link exists. And he's like, Link, remember the name. Ugh. Cinema. Next one is Ronson. She is also mid. Like, I like her a lot. I love the wedding storyline in Breath of the Wild. It's one of my favorite side quests. But she is just kind of there. There's not a lot to her. Like, she has a goal. She accomplishes it. They live happily ever after. I like that we see more of her in Tears of the Kingdom with, like, their daughter and stuff. But she's just kind of there. Like, especially when you compare her to other Gerudo characters, she doesn't stand out as much, in my opinion. Okay, we're gonna start getting a little, we're gonna run out of room. I mean, we kind of have already. Let me make myself smaller, hold on. There, I've changed my position so you can see everyone now. Sonia is great. I love that she's another mother figure to Zelda. Zelda could always use a mother figure because, you know, she didn't really get a lot of time with her mom. And Sonia is just, like, so good at it. She's so, like, kind and sweet and gentle with Zelda. I love her relationship with Rauru. Cannot wait to see more of that in Age of Imprisonment. Love her. She's great. Also, such a good design. Like, she's so well drawn. Next up is Tauru. And Tauru, I feel like he's potentially above mid. Just because I feel like he could have a good story behind him. Like, he's an interesting character. I feel like if we learned more, he could potentially be very interesting. Again, the potentially above mid isn't necessarily higher than mid. I know it looks it because it's literally above it. But these are all mid. It's just that these characters here, I feel like if we had more lore, they could be more than mid. Tulin. Tulin is great. He's such a good little chicken nugget. Am I bitter that Teppa isn't the Sage of Wind in Tears of the Kingdom? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. But that's not at the expense of Tulin. I think Tulin is great. He's doing his very best. Like, he's very little. He's trying his hardest. Yona, where am I gonna put Yona? I think she's potentially above mid. There's so much we don't know about her. Like, what we do know about her is fine. Like, she's a nice lady. She loves Sidon. He loves her. It's great. But we don't know enough about her. Like, she's from a different kingdom. It's like, where is that? What's the connection? What's the relationship between the kingdom and Hyrule? Like, can we please know? Like, we need more information. We need more information. Next, we have Maskoshia. I don't really consider him a character in the same sense as the other ones that are here. But he is a playable character in Age of Calamity after you unlock some stuff. And he's kind of cool to use. But, I mean, he kind of just is what he is. I don't really know, like, was he a person? Is he just, like, the embodiment of the monk's, like, powers? It's kind of hard to judge. So I'm gonna put him on potentially above mid because he's such a mysterious, like, entity. Terako is great. He's adorable. I love the story. I love that he's like Zelda's little pet, basically. I almost cried when he dies. Well, dies. When he breaks. And I was very happy that he was fixable in the game. And he's just adorable. Very, very good to use as well. He's a tiny little thing, but he packs a punch. This one is Calamity Ganon from Age of Calamity. And he is trash, and I will die on that hill. He is the most underwhelming version of Ganon in this whole era, I feel. Like, I prefer Dark Beast Ganon over this Calamity Ganon. And to be honest, I wasn't even gonna put him here, but he was on the list because I didn't put like Dark Beast Ganon here. That wasn't on any list because Dark Beast Ganon, Ganondorf, Calamity Ganon from Breath of the Wild, and the Demon Dragon, they're kind of all him, like this guy, in a sense. Like, they're versions of him. So that's just kind of like, it's all there. So I kind of consider this Calamity Ganon to be the same, part of the same entity in a way, but it is a separate timeline. But I just don't like the design. I think the fight is underwhelming, and yeah, that's why I'm just gonna put him on trash. Like, if he wasn't here, then he would have gotten a free ride with just Ganondorf encompassing everything. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this one. Speaking of trash, battle-tested Guardian from Age of Calamity is absolute trash. I don't like the mission that you have to do to get him, which is to fight him, because he's immune to, like, pretty much every elemental attack, I think, if I remember correctly. So, like, it just takes forever. And then when you unlock him as the character, he's not great to use. Maybe it's a skill issue, but it's like, what am I doing here? Like, it's so clunky. Just no. No, thank you. Soga. Soga's great. Like, he is so good as a character. I didn't actually unlock him as a playable character because I had to do some sort of mission somewhere that I just haven't done yet. But I love his character. I love his loyalty. He is, like, with the exception of, like, Link and Zelda and, like, the champions, he's probably the most loyal character that's here. Like, he is so loyal to Master Koga because, as you learn in Age of Calamity, he was rescued by Master Koga. So it's such a special relationship. It just showcases a whole different side of the Iga clan. Just great. Like, very, very good quality character. And last but not least is what's-his-face? Aster. Aster from Age of Calamity. Kind of like the main antagonist of the game. What do I feel about him? I think he's kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie. He's very well fleshed out. I don't think we're missing out on, like, huge information about him. I think it's kind of like that's just how he is. He's a good character. He's a good villain. He's kind of one-dimensional. Way more so than Ganondorf being evil. This guy is just almost like comically evil. Kind of like a Girahim vibe. But like I prefer Girahim. But that kind of vibe. Just kind of there. So yeah, this is it. I think I'm happy with this. But every time I do a tier list and I go back to look at it, I'm like, what was I thinking? This makes no sense. This has happened with every tier list I've done. Where I'm like, no, this is completely inaccurate and incorrect. But as of right this second, I think we're good. Let me know if you agree with me in the comments. Let me know if I've forgotten someone, like, super important. And I'm gonna link this layout on the description in case you want to do your own tier list. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.